Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, please lead us from the darkness to the light or knowledge, from immortality, from the mortality to the immortality, from the ignorance to the knowledge. Om, peace, peace, peace. My dear blessed spiritual aspirants, we were all discussing Tattva Bodha, which is the preliminary text of Advaita Vedanta. By discussing Tattva Bodha, we have tried ourselves to understand the basic tenets of Advaita philosophy. What is Advaita philosophy, or what constitutes the Advaita philosophy? We have tried to know. We try to know prerequisites to study Vedanta or to become the spiritual aspirant. And we also try to know what is Advaita in a nutshell. The self or the Atman or the Brahman alone is real. Everything else is an appearance. And how it is, there's a lot of discussions we happened. And the Vedanta teachings culminates in Mahavakya Vichara, discussion of the great sentence, Tattvamasi, you are that. In the previous class, we did discuss about what is Tat, what is Tvam, and what is Asi. What do we mean by you, and what do you mean by that, and what do you mean by are? When you say that, that is Brahman minus Maya, that is Ishvara minus Maya, it is Shuddha Chaitanya or pure consciousness. When you say Tvam, you, means individual being. Again, individual being minus with limiting adjuncts, means without alpatva, etc., etc. So, what it is actually? Again, it is pure consciousness. Now, is it becoming then? No, it is being. And why it is not becoming, we try to know in the previous class. Because already we are. By self-realization, by God realization, we are not going to attain new thing. We are not going to refine anything. It is already we are. Only the thick veil of ignorance was there. Just by doing all this mental exercise and sadhana, spiritual sadhana, we will be getting away the ignorance. So nothing new thing has been achieved. So hence it is not becoming, rather it is being, or arasi, the verb we have discussed. After discussing all these things, we may get a question: is there anyone who has achieved it? If at all, what will be the state of, how it will be like that? And the person who has achieved like that, that state of self-realization, realization of the self, how it will be, what it will be. So this type of question, we do get it. That's the reason the author himself feels that this type of question may come. For the reader or for the seeker of the truth, he starts explaining about Jivan Mukta. It is a new, unique concept, either in the Eastern philosophy or in the Western philosophy. This is the unique concept which belongs to non-dualistic philosophy, that is Advaita. Advaita alone believes in this, and it also describes having realization, self-realization, realization of the self while living in this empirical world. The Semitic religions, they say, after our death, when we go to heaven, or after our death, on the judgment day, God will gauge our sin and virtues accordingly. If the virtues are more, then we'll be sent to heaven, and if the sins are more, then we'll be sent to hell. So the realization is attaining the heaven. Similarly, with the dualistic philosophy, even in Hindu philosophy, dualistic schools of philosophy and qualified monoism, monoistic philosophy, that is Vishishtadvaita, there also either reaching the God, attaining the God is either merging in the God or living in the world where the God resides, like Kailasa, Vaikunta, Goloka. Again, there's a different world where after our death, we go and stay near the Lord. But the Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy, is the only philosophy which tells that you can get liberated now and then. If you want to liberate yourself now, you can. That is in our palms. So while living in this empirical world, while living in this physical body, grass body, we can be liberated. And that is the state of Jivan Mukta. What a beautiful concept. What a unique concept, isn't it? And once you get that Jivan Mukta state, what will happen? Identity between self and Supreme Self is achieved. Essentially, there is no difference between me and Ishvara, because essentially both of us, we are pure consciousness, Shuddha Chaitanya, or Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss absolute. And also, again, there will be identity established between beings. For example, I and John and Mary, are the three, we are all one? Yes. How can you say? You are different from John and John is different from Mary. How three can be same or anyone? We say yes. Because the inherent principle, inherent thing is there, whatever in you or in a John, in a Mary or in a Rama or in a Muhammad, in whomever so, everything is same, the divinity, the consciousness, the Atman is the same thing in everyone. There's a reason, essentially, there's the same principle. Probably if you remember the theory of reflection, Pratibimbavada in two classes before I told. There's only one sun. When we keep 100 mirrors or 100 buckets of water, we see the reflections hundreds. That means we cannot say that we have got 100 suns, but only one sun, 100 reflections. So every subtle body, every being has got a subtle body and causal body. They are nothing but the reflections, like mirrors, like our buckets of water. So there is a reflection. So I, you, all people, all the beings, whatever. So every body has got a subtle physical body, subtle body and causal body. The subtle body as well as the causal body are the reflecting mediums. That's why we see multitude of beings, n number of beings, thousands of lakhs of crores of millions of billions of individual beings are there. So many beings are there. We say that it appears, but actually there is only one, that is Atman or Brahman. That will be understood or realized by the person who is Jivan Mukta. That is a person who was liberated by living in this empirical world. And the third thing is solidarity of the universe or the identity with the universe. The principle, whichever is made up of this body and this external world, both are one and the same. And essentially, there is consciousness and consciousness alone. There is nothing else. Identity with the universe. So when you hear all, this is all theoretically fine. Maybe, is it not hypothetical argument? Or just their postulations, their theories? Is it practically anyone has understood or realized? Yes. We can see in the life of Swami Vivekananda himself. With his Guru's grace, when with his divine touch, his Guru's divine touch, he had this vision where he was seeing the consciousness everywhere. Either the human beings or the railings and the house, mother, himself and the food, plate, everything was so good with consciousness. And consciousness alone existed. And all the names and forms are just, it was pseudo. So this clear experience was observed, is been witnessed by Swami Vivekananda in modern times. And there are n number of saints, seers, philosophers who had this experience and even presently were having this type of experience. It is not mere hypothetical argument, it is not mere theory, but even you and me also we can attain to the state provided if we are interested and if we practice. And beautifully, Swami Vivekananda tells here, based on his experience, viewed from the transcendental standpoint, everything appears to be unreal. Religious creeds and works, I and thou, and the universe, everything is unreal. Means it is an appearance just. Then only it is perceived. What? I am the only reality. I am the all pervading Atman, and I am the proof of my own existence. I have seen that state and realized it. You also see and realize it and preach this truth of Brahman to all, then only will you attain to peace. What a beautiful, magnanimous statement you see. I have seen that state and realized it. You also see and realize it and preach this truth of Brahman to all, divinity. Then only you can attain the peace. And this is the way and this is the path to attain the peace. What is that? I am that. I am the Brahman. I and the Brahman and Brahman alone exist. Nothing alone, nothing else exists, and everything else is illusory or and just appearance. This is the status of Jivan Mukta, liberated person. So he who has realized the truth of the oneness of self and Brahman, as well as the oneness within this whole universe, is called a Jivan Mukta, the liberated person while living, liberated person in this living in this empirical world. And what happens to him? What happens to him if you ask? If you ask, he will be freed person. He will be free from the bondage. He will be free from the cycle of samsara. What is samsara? Cycle of birth and death. I was Karodpati. I was a millionaire. I was a billionaire. I was a noble laureate. I have achieved so many things. Fine. After my death, again I have to take a birth. Again I have to start my kindergarten school or a nursery or a first stand, class 1, class 2, first class, second class. And all the, again, ups and downs, whatever happiness, sufferings and all, whatever we experience today in this life, the next life also we have to experience all of them. So if I don't want to experience all of these things, and if I want to put a full stop and I want to live eternally in bliss, peaceful state, then you have to understand yourself, you have to realize yourself, you have to know yourself. That is the Advaita Vedanta is going to teach. So thus, by the teachings of Vedanta imparted by a competent teacher, those in whom the knowledge of Brahman in all beings is born, they are the Jivan Muktas, liberated even while living. And what happens when all the desires of the heart are burnt away? The individual becomes immortal while living and attains Brahman even in this body. So when one can attain this state, when all the desires of their heart are burnt away, when they are pure and their mind becomes pure, and such type of individual becomes immortal while living in this empirical world. So how it will be, again, the author is explaining in the Tattva Bodha. The ignorant people, how they think, I have got a body, or I am a body. Though the truth is I have got a body, most of the time we feel that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the emotions. That's why something happens to body. If I get a fever, I may morose. Weakness and all part of the body reactions, fine, but I feel morose. As if the fever has come to me, I feel that. But if I feel that I have a body, then okay, body has got a problem. Okay, by taking medicines and by taking rest, this is taken care. I will not be perturbed. I will not be moved. Whereas when I get a fever, when I get a cold, when something happens to this physical body, immediately I react. I feel bad. I feel distressed. I feel stressed. I feel morose. I feel unhappy. Why? Because I think that as if it has happened to me because I feel that I am the body. Ignorant person. I am a Christian. I am a Muslim. I am a Hindu. I am a Brahmin. I am a Shudra. I am an officer. I am a lecturer. I am a male. I am a female. All these things are limiting adjuncts upadhis. We are being covered up with these things. But the great person, the Jivan Mukta, the person who has liberated while living, he feels, he realizes, he understands that I have a body, I am not the body. I have a mind as an weapon, instrument, but I am not the mind. I have got feelings, but I am not the feelings. I have got thoughts or have got an intellect, but I am not the intellect. I've got a house, I am not the house. This body belongs to a particular religion because it was born in Christian religion. Probably this body is known as a Christian, but I am not that because I'm away from that. I'm above from all these things. This body was belong to this particular country, but I am again above all these things. Again, because of this body, I am called male, but as a spirit, as a soul, soul doesn't have any sex, doesn't have any caste, doesn't have any religion, doesn't have any country, doesn't have any creed. So neither I am a male nor I am a female. Rather, I am unattached, asangaha. And my nature is Satchitananda, again existence absolute, consciousness absolute, and bliss absolute. And I am effulgent, and I don't have actually form. And who has got such type of knowledge, immediate knowledge, is called Jivan Mukta. You see, what a beautiful state it is. I'm not attached to body, mind, complex, intellect, for the country, for the society, for the people, for one's own body, one's own accomplishment. Is unattached from all these things. And he is realized, it is not only mere intellectual understanding, he is realized that he is Satchitananda. He has got firm conviction because of his realization. And he feels that he is self-luminous and is all pervasive, just like sky. Now, for an example, if I am in this Vedanta society, I cannot be. Today morning I had been to Technical University, Technology University, Dublin, TUD. I cannot be there now, isn't it? Yes, because I, as a Swami Shantivratananda, I've been limited with this body because with this name and form. But whereas if you say that I'm an Atman, then even as consciousness, it is all pervasive, just like space. So when you attain that state of Jivan Mukta, you will feel that you are all pervasive like a space or ether. So what is the difference between ignorant person and this Jivan Mukta, the person who is realized while living? I am the body and I am not the body. Whereas the ignorant person thinks that I am the body, and the liberated person, self-realized person, he thinks that I am not the body, rather I have the body. I am the man, I am not the man, because the soul doesn't have any sex. I am the Muslim, Christian, or a Jew, or a Buddhist, or a Jain, or a Hindu. No, I doesn't belong to any of these things because again, I am the consciousness. I am just awareness, pure awareness. Then I am attached to my own body, or my country, or my house, my kith and kin, my relatives, my would-be, my for accomplishments, for my office, etc., for my name and fame. But the liberated person will be unattached, asanga. Is not attached to any of these things and is limited in his name and form. Ignorant person feels that I'm limited in by name and form because I'm so and so XYZ. But the person, the liberated person, feels that I am all pervasive like space because I am just in a pure existence, consciousness, bliss, pure awareness. And the ignorant person thinks that he is ignorant, is dull-headed, he doesn't know all these things and all. But the liberated person thinks that he is self-luminous in nature. By that self-luminous, the whole world is getting lighted from this light of Atman or the Brahman or the consciousness. Everything is known actually. So self-luminosity, that will be known by the liberated person. So beautifully, the Upanishad says, Brahma with Brahmaiva bhavati. He who knows Brahman, he who realizes Brahman becomes Brahman. This is the difference between knowing some objects in the world and knowing the subject. What is that? When I know the water, when I get the knowledge of the water, I don't become the knowledge. When I have got the knowledge of the computer, what is computer after all? I will not become the computer. When I know a particular animal, when I get a knowledge about particular knowledge about the particular bird, when I get the knowledge about particular tree, or when I get a knowledge about a particular country, neither I become the country, nor the bird, nor the tree, nor the plants, nor the animals, nor the computer, nor the water. But whereas when I know that I am the Brahman, I will become Brahman. There's a beauty in this. When I know that, when I know that, when I understand that, when I realize that I am Brahman, then I will become Brahman. I will become Brahman in the sense already I was Brahman only because of the ignorance. Because of the ignorance, I was not able to comprehend, I was not able to understand. When the ignorance is removed, then I will be able to. Probably I'll give an example. Today we have got a beautiful sunny day. Everyone in Dublin, at least people are very happy because of sunny day. Yesterday we had morning to night, we had a rains. Continuously there was a shower. Because of shower and clouds, we were not able to see the sun. But I cannot say, or you cannot say, or any person who is in Dublin cannot say, oh, sun doesn't exist. Why? Because I'm not able to see. Today I'm able to see. I've got a beautiful sunlight, so I cannot say that, okay, sun exists. No. Because only the clouds were covering the sun, I was not able to. The sun was there yesterday and today also is there. But only because of the clouds were covering the sun. Yesterday I was not able to see, I was not able to comprehend the sun. Today because there are no clouds, today I am able to see the sun. I am able to perceive the sun. I am able to comprehend the sun. So similarly here, I am Brahman already. But because of ignorance, I was feeling that I am different from that. When you remove this ignorance, when you remove the thick veil of ignorance, then you will understand that who are you. And here again the beauty is, the clouds was removed, you were able to see the sun, you were able to perceive the sun, you were able to comprehend the sun. But still, you and sun both are different. Both are different, and there are two things, or persons. If you say sun as a person and you, both are different. Two people are there. But here, once you realize who are you, then you and the Brahman and the realizing, the process, all things will be merged, and there will be no one to say that, okay, I am that Brahman. Because to say that I am that Brahman, I should be little away, at least from that Brahman. Isn't it? For example, when you are watching a movie, there was a problem and a person was got into problem and he or she is crying bitterly and you got attached to that, so much so that you are unaware of the surroundings and you start crying. Why? Because as if it is happening to you. If you feel that, okay, you are separate and he or she is an actor and they are just participating and they are acting it, definitely you may feel bad about it, you may feel sad about it, but you will never cry. And you will profusely crying as if it has happened to you, because you got attached to that and you started feeling that as if you are in that position and it is happening to you. And that juncture, you and the person who was acting both were same, one and the same. Actually there are no two different things, because so tadatmya we say in Sanskrit, so much became one. Here, once the movie is over, once oh, why I started crying? It first and foremost, it was a movie, and basically it didn't happen to me. It happened to him or her. But that time, as if it happened to me, I was feeling that. So similarly, when I realized that Brahman, when I was experiencing that Brahman, then I, the experiencer, experienced and experiencing action, will three distincts will not be there. There will be only one entity. What is that? Brahman and Brahman alone. Even we cannot say only one entity, because to say one, that means if there is two only, then you can say one. So generally, technically they say that there are no two things, only one thing. So then the question comes, So what type of knowledge it is? Is it objective knowledge, or is it subjective knowledge, or it is direct perception, indirect perception, all these things? So the author says that. Now knowledge, if you see, we have got three types of knowledge. One is direct knowledge, perception. Now I see Tara Hills here. Someone sees Atlantic Ocean. He is able to see Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean or the Arabian Sea or Himalayas. So when I'm standing in front of Himalayas, or when I'm watching the movie Himalayas, I'm having a direct knowledge, direct perception about Himalayas. Now I'm in Dublin. I've heard about the Himalayas. Probably I've read about Himalayas. That is called indirect knowledge. Through inference or through study of the books, we get knowledge that is indirect knowledge, that is paroksha gnana or indirect knowledge. If I'm seeing Himalayas directly, I'm perceiving it, I'm directly seeing it, then such type of knowledge called is aparoksha gnana. Fine. Now, the author and the non-dualistic philosophers say that the knowledge of the Atman or Brahman is much more or is different from these things, direct or indirect knowledge. Why? It is called immediate knowledge. Why it is immediate knowledge? For now, when I went to Tara Hills, I had a perception of Tara Hills. Directly, fine. And before that, when I was reading about Tara Hills in a book and all, I had an indirect knowledge about Tara Hills. But again, when I am perceiving the Tara Hills, I and Tara Hills both are different. But whereas when we remove the thick veil of ignorance, when I understand that I am that Brahman, what happens there? It is an immediate knowledge. Already it was there, only there was a barrier, and you remove the barrier and you become the one with that. And you and the whatever you experienced, that will not be two different things. When I go and see, when I perceive Tara Hills, I and the perceiver, the perceived Tara Hills, both are different. I'm enjoying the scenic beauty of Tara Hills in and around, fine, but I am the enjoyer, and the enjoy Tara Hills and the scenery in and around is two different things. But whereas when I'm experiencing the Brahman, when I've got a realization of the Brahman, I, the experiencer, the Brahman or the experienced, both are one and the same. And already I was there. Only there was just a barrier. You removed the barrier. So it is called immediate knowledge. It is a direct knowledge, no doubt, but it is called immediate knowledge. Aparoksha anubhuti. That's what they say. Now, what is the result or fruit by attaining the Jivan Mukti? That is, okay, I get Jivan Mukti. I am free person. I'm a realized person by living in this empirical world or by living in this body. What do I get? Because without profit, without use, no one does anything, isn't it? So what do I get? You may ask, or you may get a question. They say, by the immediate knowledge, I am Brahman, one becomes free from the bondage of all karmas. One becomes free from all bondages or samsara, the cycle of birth and death, and he's saying that bondage of all karmas. He could have said because just free from all bondages. Why selling free from bondages of all karmas? Why? Because of my action only I take birth. If I have done a good action, then the fruits of good action is called virtue, punya we say. And when I do bad actions, when I perform bad actions, the results will be bad, and that's what we call papa or sin. And the virtue and sin is the result, is the cause for my life. Someone is very lucky and someone is unlucky. Why? His God is impartial? No, because of my own karmas, because of my own actions. I am lucky because I have done good actions in my previous lives and present life and previous lives, and I have done some bad actions in my previous lives and present life. That's why I am lucky. And when based on this, we say four types of karmas based on the fruits of action. We can say that there are four. One is good, the other is bad, the third is neutral, and the fourth is mixed based on the fruits of actions. That's what Ariharanda Aranya in a Patanjali Yoga Sutra, while discussing, he makes this distinction. Yeah. So, because of this action only, we take birth and death. So, what happens to Jivan Mukta, the person who is realized, who is free in this living, in this empirical world? What happens? So, the author starts explaining. So, here, depending upon the time of its fruition or fruits of action, are divided into three broad classes. One is called prarabdha karma, that which is bearing fruit now. Now, today I'm talking and I'm happy, etc., because of my whatever the past actions, the fruits it is bearing. That's why I'm experiencing the happiness. I'm talking to the you people and you are listening. Why? Because of the prarabdha karma, that which is bearing fruit now. And there is a other type of karma action results that is called sanchita karma. Sanchita karma means that which is stored in your account, and agami, that which you are going to get the fruits of action in your future based on your further actions or future actions. Probably I will tell in a simple layman's language that will be easy. You are working in somewhere, an office or a college or wherever you want. So since you are working for a long time, you are getting salary, and among the salary, some amount you are every month you are withdrawing or you are using for your personal expenses, your life, for your family. But still, 20,000 or 30,000 euros, there is a accumulation. Every month, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 euros you are withdrawing for your monthly expenses. That is what called prarabdha karma. So you withdraw 2 or 3 or 4,000 euros. Based on that, you are taking care of your monthly expenses of your family life, your food, clothes, shelter, paying different bills and all. And in due course of time, month after month, when you are getting salary, you are trying to little accumulate, save for your further, maybe further expenses, probably when you need something at distress or when you have problems or whatever. So you got 30,000 euros bank. There is a accumulation of 30,000 euros in your bank account. That is what we call sanchita karma. And now you are working next month, and in going in a future in future years also, you'll be accumulating again your salary among the among then you will, some part of it again you will withdraw because for your monthly expenses, and some part again you will try to store, accumulate there only for your future expenses. That is what called agami karma. Now the author says for the realized person who has got self-relation while living in this empirical body or in this empirical, in this gross body, in this empirical world, the prarabdha karma continues to exist till his death. Whatever he has been accumulated, for example, 3,000 rupees you have withdrawn from the bank, till 3,000 finishing, 3,000 euros, you can go anywhere and you can purchase anything. Once it is over, then you cannot purchase, isn't it? So similarly, till exhaustion of the prarabdha karma, the Jivan Mukta, though is a free person, he has to live and he has to exhaust his karma. Then what happens to his sanchita karma? Accumulated accumulated fruits of action, accumulated karma phala, that gets destroyed, that gets nullified, that gets destroyed, because he has got a realization, the knowledge will destroy it. And what about agami karma, which is going to accumulate? Because for 1 year or 2 year or 5 year or 10 year or 20 years, there still is living based on his prarabdha karma, based on whatever he has accumulated, he has withdrawn for this life. So 20 or 30 years, he will be doing so many karmas, actions. Then what will happen to that result? They say that it doesn't bind him because he feels that he is neither the doer nor the enjoyer. He is neither the doer, karta, nor the bhokta, neither the doer or enjoyer. So it doesn't stain on him. It doesn't bind on him. Then what happens to that karma phala? Because he is performing this karma, What happens to it? Then here in the Tattva Bodha, the author says that one whoever serves this holy man, one whoever serves this sage, one whoever serves this saint person, for him, for such persons, all his good actions result, that is punya we say, all good actions results, that is virtues, will go to such type of people. Why in all religions, the saints and the great people are taken care. They are served. Why? Because by serving them, we get their punya. They have done a lot of tapas, lot of penance, lot of good things they have done. So that good results, we may get it partially. So even Tattva Bodha, author says that whatever they do, good actions, all the good action results will go to either they for the disciples or for the people who serve them. They don't do any bad actions or wicked actions at all. If at all, by any chance, per chance, if they do any wrong actions, if they do any wicked actions, if they perform any wicked actions, that karma phala is sin, bad results, that bad results will go to people whom? The people who curse on them, or the people who speak ill of them, the people who speak wrong of them, for them, this bad results will go, it seems. So we have to be very careful. If I speak ill of such great people, such a right people, that then whatever they knowingly or unknowingly, if they perform any bad actions, that results, the papa, the sin will come to me. I might not have performed any bad action. I might not have performed any wrong action or wicked action, but still I will get a sin papa. Why? Because I did a wrong thing, wrong action. What is that? I criticize such noble people. I criticized saintly people. I criticized sages. I criticized men of realization. So we have to be very careful. So based on the fruits of action, it is divided into three types: that which should yield in the future, that which is stored, and that which is begun to yet yield the fruit. That is prarabdha, sanchita, and agami. So prarabdha, one has to exhaust himself, and the sanchita, whatever is stored, it will get destroyed by the knowledge, by the self-realization, and the agami, which is going to be accumulated, which will be accumulated in the future. All his good actions results, that is punya, virtues, will go to the people who serve them, either for the disciples or the people who serve them. And his bad actions result, that is papa or sin, will go to the people who will criticize them, who tries to do some injury. For an example, some such good people are there. If I do if I trouble them, then what happens? Then I will get the results of the bad actions of the great people. So what is sanchita karma? The results of actions performed in the previous births, which are in the seed form, to give rise to endless crores of births in future, is called sanchita karma or accumulated karma. Then what is agami karma? Agami karma is nothing but which is going to perform. That in the future, whatever the new actions is going to perform, based on the results of that action, such type of actions are called agami karma. And what is prarabdha karma? The karmas that have come to fruition at the time the jiva, the individual soul, takes birth are called prarabdha karma. These are comparable to that portion of the deposit which has matured. So already I told you what happens to this. And now one more important point is made by author. This is the last, it ends the Tattva Bodha, that tanum tejatuva kashyam swapachasya gruhe athava gnana samprapti samaye mukta asau vigatashchaya iti smutescha. Let the gnani, the released person, the Jivan Mukta, cast his body in a Kashi or in any sacred place, you can say. You can say take Jerusalem, or you can take up in Mecca or Medina, or you can take Kashi, or you can take Himalayas, wherever. So in any sacred place, or in the house of in a wicked person, or in a person who has done all type of sinful person. If a gnani has gone to such house and there he leaves away his body, It is immaterial for him because at the time of gaining the knowledge, he is liberated. He is being free from all results of actions. So assert the even the Smritis too. So the person, the liberated person, either if he is leaving the body in the very sacred place, or in the place where the sinful people were staying, or in any place, it doesn't matter for him. Why? Because he's already liberated. The moment when he understood or when he realized that who is he, then he's free already. So wherever he leaves his body, it doesn't matter because he's such a free person. Means there will be no bondage for him at all. That's what the author intends. So here, the Advaita Vedanta's goal is to make us free from all the problems, from all the sorrows, from all the sufferings. Paramananda Prapti, attaining of supreme bliss at all times, eternally. That is what the goal of Vedanta, Paramananda Prapti. So why should we study Vedanta? Why should we pursue Vedanta? Why should we take this non-dualistic philosophy? And why the philosophy is because to live happy life at all times and to be free from all affliction, from all the bondages, and eternally to be free. But I see free that if I become an officer, I'll be free. If I become a politician, I will be free. If I become a millionaire, I'll be free. If I'm a good accomplisher, probably if I'm a Nobel laureate, I'll be free. We think that, but in reality, it is all not so. All these things will create bondage. Again, all these problems, ups and downs in the life, sufferings and enjoyment, pleasure, pain, all these things will continue. It doesn't cease to exist. Only by knowing who am I, or by having a self-realization, or having a God realization from the devotee's point of view, then only we are free person. That is what the state of realization of the self, or the state of Jivan Mukti, as told by non-dualistic philosophy. So thus ends the discussion on the Advaita Vedanta from the Tattva Bodha text. The next class, I shall recapitulate, probably I think 14th or 15th class today. So whatever 14 to 15 classes we have discussed, all things will be recapitulated in the capsule form, probably in a systematic way. Of course, we have tried to study systematically. That time we will try to put everything so that whatever you have heard till now, you will be able to recapitulate, and afterwards we will take some other text to discuss more and more about this, and we will try to go more and more inside and to know who am I. Let God bless all of us to understand who am I. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu. Dear devotees, this coming Saturday we have got lecture on Karma Yoga, the path of selfless action, from 5:30 to 6:30, and after 6:45 to 7:30 we will be having chanting classes. Some want to learn Vedic hymns and some Sanskrit mantras and all. Some of the devotees were asking me for a long time. So now alternative weeks will be having this Sanskrit mantras learning classes, Vedic chanting classes. So whoever wishes, you can come. As of now, we'll not be doing online, only offline we'll be doing. Alternative weeks will have a bhajans class, that is a devotional prayer practice and teaching class, and alternate other 2 weeks we will have a Vedic mantras and Sanskrit mantras learning class. We request all the devotees, whoever is interested, to avail this opportunity. Thank you.